Hey everyone, it's 7 o'clock here on the Pacific Coast, and it is Friday night. It means it's time for Dream and Code Live. I'm Andre Burdett or Skaggles, and a bit of bad news. I did a little shaving. Fortunately, I shaved after the last episode I did, which was 2 weeks ago, because last episode I had to cancel due to me needing to get out of town for a bit. It wasn't criminal related. But yeah, I had to be out of town. I went ahead and shaved. I had something I had to do. I had to look professional and everything. Fortunately, my hair grows back pretty fast. This is a couple weeks, so we should be seeing a nice full growth here by the end of the month, or by next month at least. So a couple things. I know people are disappointed about the beard, but a couple things. I am using a new system now. I actually got this laptop here instead of a desktop, but this laptop's actually better than my desktop. So I'm actually able to record locally while I stream, so there shouldn't be any choppiness or the sound should actually be better because we actually paid for a registration on it. So the system is actually better than the one I have. So that means I can record locally and stream, which means that the YouTube version will see an increase in quality and everything. And then once I upgrade the internet, the stream will see an increase in quality. So this show's actually gradually getting better. Tonight we have a guest. Me and Number 2 Pencil, or Jason, have actually been trying to organize things better. We have lined up a few guests coming up that we're trying to set dates and topics and everything like that. So just B9 and Tifa talking about women, technology, and stuff. We talked to Lemur, Super Sloth, macOS Nerd. We're trying to get a hold of Skyhawk 2 about it. To see if he can get on, the owner of Dream and Code. Tonight's guest is actually lordofduct. But to make a few announcements first, let's cover some important announcements first, such as the fact that my car was broken into over the weekend. Yes, somebody busted out the window of my car and tried to steal my car. Fortunately, I have an alarm, and they got scared off. So, for those watching the live stream via Ustream, if you're wondering where the chat is, I took the chat, I disabled the chat completely from Ustream now. So what you have to do if you want to get involved in the chat is you have to go to dreamandcode.net and go to the IRC channel, which is irc.fnet.org, and the channel is little pound # Dream and Code, and that's where we're all at. Yes, I violated the beard. I'm sorry, but I had to shave it. It's inevitable. I had to look professional for something. Fortunately, it grows back. I should just went down to a goatee. But actually, I actually had, me and Number 2 Pencil had a conversation about this. We were talking about for last week, but last episode got canceled. And then between then and now, we actually kind of just forgot about it. But I was actually thinking about buying one of these and wearing it for the next episode. One of these little knitted beards. You guys can still get the full effect of the beard, but I never ended up getting one. They're like $50 or something, but that would have been amusing, wouldn't it? So we have a website. I've announced this before, but if you're unaware, we have a website created by Number 2 Pencil or Jason. It's weeklydic.com, and on it he's got links to the videos. He's got a little thing. He's working on the contact page now. Hopefully, we're getting it to where you could go to this site to see the live stream. You don't have to go to Ustream at all. And we'll also have a link to the chat and everything on the site once he gets things running better. And the other thing I wanted to make an announcement of is that we now have a Facebook page I set up so that I can get out announcements to everybody quicker, and I don't have to spam the same thread on the Dream and Code forum. But see right there. I made the announcement we were going live. Yeah, so if you follow, just click like. I think we need 25 likes in order to get a custom URL for this thing, but right now it works perfectly fine. Just go and search for Dream and Code Live and you'll get to this page. Enough announcements. Let's actually jump into our topics and stuff and introduce our guest. I should probably call him, actually, on this thing. So we'll wait for that. But our guest tonight is actually lordofduct. Welcome to the show, man.
What's up?
What's up? Now, interesting. Let's load this up. I like your Skype picture there.
My Skype picture.
Well, apparently it's.
Is that the me with the red hair and like my
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know what one it is.
All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself then, for the people that aren't aware of that you exist.
I'm an asshole who hangs out in the lounge, and I don't know. I'm a programmer.
Well, how about this? We can kind of get to know about you by going over this first topic I had, which is the if you could choose only one language. This is a post that was made a little while ago, but I thought was interesting. If you could choose only one language to know everything about, kind of like the Matrix download. This is started by Ryan Robinson. What's that one language you would choose?
I remember seeing that post. I couldn't choose a language to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
It's
Me neither. I'd have to say the same thing. It's kind of hard to choose a specific language because knowing multiple languages helps you better understand other languages.
exactly. I was I started out with C sharp. Someone's saying my volume needs to turn
Yeah, I'm
up.
turning it up right now.
Oh, okay. Uh, uh, I started out with C sharp just because it was easy to grab onto. But since I've learned like I'd say probably 18 or 19 languages, and the idea that I've spanned across so many different languages and frameworks and everything has developed my programming skills so much that I could never reduce myself to one.
Yeah, I feel the same way. You work on a single programming language, you get to know it very well, you know a lot about it. But then I started messing around with another language. For number one, for all you know, you can like that language better.
Hmm.
But there's also going to introduce you to different concepts and ideas that the current language doesn't really cover that well.
Yeah, definitely.
Such as
Or just there's just things that are more powerful or made available to you in other languages, and I mean, if I had to for writing purposes and syntax and the sort, I love C sharp and its style, but it's probably just mostly based off the fact that it's where I started.
yeah, I started with Basic, went to Visual Basic, went to C++, went to C Sharp, tried assembly, went to I've messed with so many languages, but I don't regret messing with so many languages. I'm like one of those people that knows a little bit about a lot of languages, but doesn't really. I need to get in depth in one, is what I need to do.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
No, actually, Basic makes me think of something. I write Visual Basic for my job. Main reason is we work with a PIC system, and it uses a Basic style language, and they started using VB6 for their GUI, and now they're using VB.NET because everyone in the office knows it. I walked in there though never using Visual Basic in my life before. I was one of those, I know C++, I know C sharp. Basic is for losers and babies. And, I was a little pompous about it. But I've since learned, and it's grown my respect and why I can't select a specific language. Is I've learned to grow to realize actually Basic's a pretty decent language.
It
Those
is.
naysayers out there are talking out their ass.
I am going to bust out the mixer because I have you turned up all the way in the streamer, but people are still saying your volume's pretty bad, so I'm going to turn you up a bit more.
Okay.
So I got it all the way to.
Hopefully it's not me.
No, it's definitely my end because I have on the system here, the little streaming software I have your volume turned up all the way for any sound that come across my computer, including you. But if I go into the mix, I could turn Skype up. So I just turned Skype up. Maybe that's better. Yep, they're saying that's much better. Hopefully, I'm not coming across too loud because I know this microphone that I have picks up everything.
Glad you're coming across fine for me. I don't know about everyone else though. I don't care about everyone else though.
So, how long have you been a member of the forums? Would you say?
I don't know exactly what the date was. I could go and look at my profile and find out. It's been a little over a year now, I would say.
Have you ever come across any weird emails from German co members? That's the other thing that I got here. This other topic, weird email from Dreaming Code member. It's posted by the
Yeah,
programmer.
I actually have a post in there about. I've never received a weird email from anyone from Dream and Code, but I've got a post in that thread about. I used to get the IMs and emails from the ladies, let's call them, who work for porn sites over in Russia and Romania. But at the time, I worked for a porn site as a system administrator, and. And the thing is, it would be funny because I would know exactly who they are when they message. I knew first off it wasn't the lady. It was usually the one English-speaking guy in the entire studio who was writing the emails for all of the ladies in the place, and then just sending those people's images along with it. And I would just message back, and I would like refer to him. One of the guys I knew by name. I referred to him by name. That made him shit his pants. It was hilarious. Most of them, though. Most people, though, because like sometimes I don't know who they are exactly, and I would just say in the instance message or something to be like, "This is your, insert company name here, system administrator. Your account is now going to be terminated and you will not be receiving your paychecks. And they'd be like, what? No, 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 don't do that to me. I was like, stop IMing me or emailing me. I don't need this crap.
I've gotten I got one or two emails from people mostly asking to be friends, but other than that, I haven't got anything as interesting as that. You get any emails outside of Dream and Code somehow?
Related to the same topic?
Or just in general, I get some emails every now and then that I'm wondering how they got my email address, but nothing too crazy. Oh my God, Skype.
I mean, I know I usually get the the usual Nigerian prince emails, but my spam blocker usually catches though. The weirdest emails I usually get, I know where they come from. It's because of my website. My email address is on there, and it's just people emailing me, asking questions and the sort. And some people just ask really.
That's the risk you take when you put your email address out there. You gotta know that you're going to be able to get some of that stuff, but you got to be prepared for it. And you said you got your spam blocker.
It's mostly people. They're not weird like, wow, you're crazy. It's like crazy like you say stupid things, but it's like weird like you made a lot of assumptions about me. Just because I have a website, just because I have my email out there, doesn't mean it's the same idea all the users on DIC have about helping out people. They give me the codes. People, it's like just because I'm on the internet doesn't mean I owe you anything.
Yeah,
and
people feel very entitled.
I've received in email form like 9, 10 emails telling me why I'm such a horrible person because I.
Well, look at your picture on Skype. You certainly look like a demon. Yeah, I have to say that I've seen the emails from people that they feel like the people that come into the IRC chat too outside the show and not on show hours and stuff like that, people will still come in there and they have these questions and everything, and a lot of times we direct them to the forum to make a post about it, because if we help them in the IRC channel, it's not going to be available for anyone else that may have the same problem. So we tell them to make a post, but somehow there's like, why? You're right here. It's like, well, this isn't a support line, this isn't support chat.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a community effort, start working with everyone else.
Yeah, so a lot of times we send them over to the forum to make sure there's like a record of that sort of stuff, and that they're not trying to, I mean, it's nice if they have something real quick, we'll answer it and everything, something simple, but if they have something like in-depth, we usually send them over there.
Yeah.
So you do a lot, when you, I understand you're doing game development, is what you were mentioning to me?
Well, my day job is business software, pays the bills, whatnot. It's stable. But when I get home at night, I don't have a life. I don't have friends, so I try to make video games. I got a buddy who I started programming for because of. He went to school at Savannah College of Art and Design, and when he graduated, he just showed up on my doorstep. He was like, "I want to make a video game." I was like, "Okay, what does that matter to me?" He goes, "You know math." Like, doesn't mean much. I mean, he was like, "Well, you like video games?" I was like, "Okay, yes, I love video games. I've loved them since a little kid." He was like, "Well, then learn to program." That was July 2007. December 2007, he had a job offer from Activision, a subsidiary of Activision, and I had a job offer in California. Ever since, we spend our evenings writing code,
trying to
make a game. We haven't succeeded yet. I'm sorry?
You got any advice to those people that are interested in that type of stuff? I mean, I know that one of the main things that Dream and Code gets in the forum is all these people with game ideas or they want to do game development. Game development's a huge thing for people. A lot of people are attracted to it.
Ideas are a dime a dozen.
Yeah. Straight
up, me and my buddy, we kick around ideas nonstop. I've got like 30 or 40, I've got 30 or 40 working ideas in my head that I want to do. I've got a million, ideas just, swimming around out there. But I got 30 or 40 working in my head. Of those 30 and 40, I've seen them. I come up with the idea, and 6 months later, I'm on the internet, and sure enough, someone messages me, goes, "Dude, check out this game," and it's like, hey, that's my game. They're a dime a dozen. One of the games I worked on once, it was a cool idea. It was a really cool idea. The company went under. It was a small indie company out of Massachusetts. And the exact same idea was picked up by Activision and the company that my buddy works for. And sure enough, they just released it, and it's like making millions of dollars. It's that Spyro game, and it's the whole collectibles Pokemon style thing going on. Yeah, and it's pretty much like if you look at the game, swap out the characters, and it's pretty much the same exact game that I was working on with this company. But the thing is we had the same idea, but we failed. Why did we fail? Because we didn't have the money. Activision has, first off, but we also we didn't have the resources, that kind of thing. You need more than just an idea. You need skilled, passionate people, and that's the thing.
It takes a team effort. It's not just a single person.
Yeah, and it takes passion.
Yeah.
When like I said, I started in July 2007 coding. I had a job offer come December. Yeah, I was not an experienced developer whatsoever. The company hiring me knew that. I failed miserably. I ran back to Florida with the tail between my legs. But it was a jump. It was a leap I had to make. It's what kickstarted my career. Before that, I was, I was a system administrator at a porn site. I drove truck. I was in dead-end jobs. I finally have a career now. But the thing that got it for me was, how did I get that job offer in 4 months, in 4 or 5 months? I worked. I coded 24/7. Like, if I was not coding, I was sleeping on the floor next to the computer that I was coding on. That's all we did. We were trying our damnedest to make a game when no one on the team, there was 3 of us on the team, knew anything about what we were doing. And it was just pure sweat and passion that got us where we were. And that's my advice to anyone. Just try, and don't be afraid to fail.
Some people would argue that when it comes to ideas like you're mentioning before for not just video games, some people argue that there's no such thing as an original idea anymore, that anything created was a combination of things that have already been done.
Yeah, definitely. We always build on other things. That's the eureka moment does not exist, is how I consider it. Yeah. There is never a moment, it's very seldom there's a moment where someone goes, eureka, genuine new idea. It's like, take calculus, for instance. We all say, we all accredit Newton for it, or Leibniz, or Euler and the sort. The thing is these people all lived relatively the same period of time. They weren't really directly connected, yet they all came up with a similar idea roughly at the same time.
Yeah.
They were only socially connected in the sense of that they were all in Europe. And it was like, how did they do this? Why did they do this? It's not Leibniz discovered calculus. It was mankind discovered it, and Leibniz or Newton or whoever you want to accredit it happened to be the person through which most fame was attached.
Just like if you go with the philosophy route, like you mentioned, Leibniz or Leibniz, Western and Eastern philosophy both ended up at the same area through different means. They had no connection to each other until what was it, Schopenhauer? So that kind of it's the same thing. We had different paths, but they all came to the same ideas.
Yeah. And I believe that's more how, because I mean, what is the world? The world's a bunch of nodes, a bunch of human beings. We're a bunch of nodes. We all have the single thoughts. On our own, we're freaking monkeys for the most part. You leave us alone, we'd probably start throwing poop at the wall for all I know. But you get us into a group, and it's just it's like it's an intelligence network. It's not one being. It's all of us working together.
Like the internet.
Yeah, I don't think ideas are original. I think ideas are original in the sense that they can be new and fresh, but they're not original in the sense that any one individual dreamt that up.
Kind of like if you just take something extremely popular that people think are some original idea. I mean, something like Twitter. Communication and status update kind of thing was never new when Twitter came up. Twitter just did it in a different way, is all they did.
Yeah.
And people loved it for it. And not to mention the publicity that helped them a lot too. You get the right people using your service, people are going to follow. That's just the whole lemming thing. I'm not saying everyone out there is a lemming just blindly follows, but a lot of people do.
That reminds me of my buddy who I work with a lot. How he describes college for himself is college isn't about learning something. College is about meeting people.
Yeah.
Because that's what matters. You don't know anyone, you're not going to really find anything.
People, I've heard a lot, and I kind of agree with this about the way with high school and college, and all the school up through high school is all basically you learn how to socially interact with people. you aren't really challenged to critically think about anything, and you can just fail your way through school. Then you get to college, and in college you're finally confronted with thinking and everything, but you're also talking with people and interactions and everything. And then
Yeah,
when you
you're
get to
sharing
working,
ideas.
then you actually go to work and you actually start doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I'm sorry, just to let you know, I am in the middle of eating pizza right now and drinking vodka cranberries, so I may just come out as occasionally.
That's
So for
completely
the
fine.
viewers out there, that's why.
I was going to eat pizza tonight, but I turned it down. They had a veterans dinner at my college that I was going to go to, but didn't end up going. I went to Del Taco instead.
Mm.
I am going to play this ad, so I'm gonna mute things properly this time. The last time I did this, and yes, I'm holding a deck of cards that like I don't know why, but I'm gonna play this ad. I'm gonna mute things properly this time.
Is your computer running slow, suddenly shutting off, locking up, or other abnormal behavior? You could very well have a virus. Help is available. Computer Design and Repair has been servicing Akron, Cuyahoga Falls, and the greater Summit County area since 2003. Give us a call, and a professional technician can diagnose and properly repair the issue. Computer Design and Repair can also repair your PC or laptop, including LCD screens, DC jacks, broken or missing keys, even data recovery. Located downtown Cuyahoga Falls on the corner of Portage Trail and 2nd Street, Computer Design and Repair is open from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Please, feel free to give us a call at 330-929-2600 or see our entire list of services on the web at akron123.com. Again, that's 330-929-2600 or akron123.com.
All right, we're back. I had to play that for number two. He loves. I'll bring Lord of Duck back here too. I muted you in the actual mixer instead of the the thing because the last time I played that, I muted Skype and nobody heard the entire ad. It was just ridiculous.
Hmm. I saw that and I was watching your backlog of videos.
Yeah. B9 mentioned that in college she had to start thinking for the first time. That's why she flunked.
I don't lie, I flunked out of college as well. I made it about 1.5 years and I was like, I'm done with this shithole.
I actually went into the Army right out of high school, so I got thrown into that, and then I went into college, which I'm going through right now. So I'm getting through it through a different point of view. So I'm actually doing pretty well so far, I have to say. Let's see what's next on here. Well, the next topic isn't going to be that big of a topic. I actually have here. Let's see. I'm bringing the browser. Tritster wrote a post about it. I have a Linux server. Now what? And I thought this was interesting. He created this like pretty interesting Linux server, and he's talking about what he wants to do with it and everything like that. But then he's asking the community what he should do with it and why.
let me guess. Minecraft server.
That's what a lot of people like Minecraft server. But I thought it was interesting that you make this nice server and everything, and then you're all like, now what? It's like you didn't have an idea about what you wanted to do with it first.
I had the same exact thing years ago. I don't even. It was before I even learned to start programming. A buddy of mine told me what Linux was, and I was like, that sounds cool. And I built a Linux server, and I had no idea what to do with it. Not a freaking clue. It sat there running in my house. You know, I set up cups on it. I didn't even own a printer. I hate printers. I still don't own a printer to this day. I think artificial intelligence was, invented and it became sentient years ago, and it's the printer. It's out to fucking kill me. I refuse to own a printer. But so I set this thing up, and it did nothing for years. And like I just plugged it. That's how it's one of the ways I learned how to,
Friends come over. It's like, you got a printer server, but where's your printer? It's like, oh, I don't have a printer.
I don't know. Bring one over. Hook it up. It'll network. I assure you, it'll network. At least I think it will. In theory, it will.
I used to have this. I've set up a server once in my house, and all I did was I ran it was for a web server because I made this website. I actually posted on Dreaming Code in the share your project kind of section, and everybody seemed to love it, but I didn't leave it up. I feel like I should have spent more time on it. What it was is it was this idea of like 15 minutes of like publicity, 15 minutes of fame. What it was on the site is that anybody could submit text, like a quote. They could submit a picture. What else? I have something else, a link or something.
Hmm.
And every 15 minutes, the background daemon would actually go through the database of all the recent submissions from the last time one was chosen to and all the stuff that's been submitted since. Choose
Hmm.
one at random, and it will be displayed on the front page for the next 15 minutes until it chooses another one.
This actually sounds familiar. I think I probably read one of the threads about this of yours or something.
Yeah,
Um,
I made it one night. I was up real late, and I was drinking, and I was like, oh, code, and that happens. But everybody seemed to like it, and they thought it was an interesting idea, but I never really did anything with it, and I ended up taking the server down because I had to switch some things around for parts.
mm.
But that was about the extent of my server experience.
Yeah, my server, I still have it to this day. I still run it. It's grown. I basically whenever I buy a new computer, my old parts go into my server. I'm a doormat. Okay. And I'm sorry, B9's distracting me. But anyways,
She does that.
I still have it today. I have an i7 in there, and it's now become a virtual server. So now I have 5 servers running on virtual machines.
And let me guess, they're all running cups.
And they're all running cups. Yes. I could host printers till the end of time.
So like when all the printers take over the world, your servers are going to be like their headquarters.
Skynet is being born right now in my closet.
I have a different idea for Skynet. I think that the future of the internet is through APIs, and that APIs are going to make websites extinct. And that all that there's going to exist is desktop applications and mobile applications that interact with APIs.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's Skynet. That's my thought. You see this new thing, the new Google Easter egg thing, the Zerg Rush.
Zerg Rush. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if for those that play StarCraft, will definitely understand the term Zerg Rush, but it's grown past StarCraft. You know, they have the Zerg in it, and the Zerg are known for just massively sending in massive units, just constantly and overrunning you until you die. And if you go to Google and search for Zerg Rush, you'll get to experience that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to go to Google and do this right now. I'm sure everybody can see it.
My buddy, I woke up to that this morning. I crawled over to my computer from my bed because I worked from home today. You know, It's just me, kid, hanging over my keyboard, and that I get that as my, to greet me in the morning, hung over. I'm like, click, click. Oh, God.
Oh, where are they? There it is. I have to actually scroll up and down because I got my browser. It's not maximized so that I can get a proper size for the stream. So I'm actually like running my browser at like 1280 by 720 right now. So I actually have to scroll up and down. Oh God, they're attacking the URLs. So for those that all you gotta do is go to Google and search for Zerg Rush, and you could basically try to kill the little O's as they attack URLs, and you're eventually going to die. I mean not die, but you won't die.
They start swarming more and more and more as the game goes on. You're going to get defeated. It's
just how long can you last? And they're probably already
Oh man, I missed them down there. Sorry, I'm playing as well. Oh, this must be such a fun show right now. Listen to listen to 2 assholes from the land frickin', kill O's on Google. Good times. Good times.
God, I wish it was Google itself. Oh, I lost. It's finally over. I got 39 at 219 APM. My best score was 51 with like 250 APM.
I got 90 something this morning. I do believe that my 30-inch monitor is what helped me. So yes, if you would like to defeat this game, get a big fuck off monitor.
Yeah, my current one, so it's a 22-inch, but it's 1680 by 1050. So I still maximize. I still have to scroll a little. GG, good game.
I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I will beat your asses.
You're using your huge monitor.
Uh-oh, I missed the top.
For some reason, I have this this habit of shuffling decks of cards. I keep one next to my desk.
Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
It's my relaxer.
75.
Oh, see, that's better than I did.
Created right now.
All right, let's get back to the show. I hope everyone enjoyed watching a bunch of O's get clicked on until they disappeared, and then at the end they all swarmed together to spell out the letters G, G, assuming that you understand the
reference, the meme going on.
Yeah, it means good game. It's used a lot at the end of every StarCraft game, unless your opponent was an asshole. We'll usually say GG, just basically it's like you're a good game, you know, you did well.
Total new
So I actually wanted to talk about this. I thought this was an interesting topic. Modi1231
Yes.
posted about Google Drive. This new thing that Google's doing along with their Google Docs gives you 5 gigabytes of free online storage, kind of like the Dropbox. And
yeah, people are talking about the terms of service on it and how they basically own the rights to your shit.
I actually have them right now. I'm going to bring it up in the browser and highlight it. Let's see here. I believe it's right here where it says when you upload or otherwise submit content to our services, you give Google, and those we work for, a worldwide license to use, host, store, reproduce, modify, create derivative works, such as those resulting from translations, adaptations, blah, 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 communicate, publish, publicly perform, publicly display, and distribute such content. The rights you grant in this license are for the limited purpose of operating, blah, 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 like this. This license continues even if you stop using our services. That was the kicker. That, you know, it's not only can we do whatever the hell we want with your stuff you upload to your storage space, but if you tell us you don't want to do it anymore, we still have those rights to what you uploaded.
I don't remember who it was that suggested it, but they said we should just fill them up with a bunch of TrueCrypt documents.
Yeah.
And you know, flood their servers and whatnot.
We should fill it up with files and things.
B9 suggested porn.
Of course she suggested porn.
That'll give Google something. Let's see, I got the Dropbox terms of service if anybody's interested in the difference. Dropbox basically says you retain full ownership to your stuff. We do not claim any ownership of it. These terms do not grant us any rights to your stuff or intellectual property. See, that's even though they offer less space, but they're not taking your shit from you.
You know what? You know what I don't like about this story? It makes me regret getting Google it tattooed on my ass. I mean, and I'm not lying. I have Google it tattooed on my ass.
Oh god, it's times like this I wish that my internet worked better with.
Oh yes, because I could show my glorious hairy ass off to everyone in the forum.
It will get jiffed. It will get jiffed. People will.
It was funny when I got that tattooed on me. I'm not lying. I drove home the 5-minute drive, and it was already on the internet.
Is that the Google picture that everybody sees on the internet? It's yours. Wow.
I know B9's seen it, but
oh,
no, I haven't used any of these Dropbox or online cloud storage services yet. Okay. You know, there's one of the great things of having, you know, a home server. One of the exploited things that I did was like, okay, I can store stuff here and access it from anywhere in the world. Sweet. Yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, if you got the knowledge and you have the hardware, just put together your own little network or your own little server for storing your stuff. I actually use Ubuntu One mostly because it's 5 gigs and it's free.
Yeah, I have an account with Ubuntu One just because, you know, I have Ubuntu and it's like, sure, why not? Let's take it. But I haven't used it. I just have it. I
also have Dropbox. I kind of like go between the two. Like I use Dropbox for certain things. I use Ubuntu for certain things. The Google Drive, I think the main it kind of it's integrated. It looks like with Google Documents. So like as you create a document, you can put it in your Google Drive and then share it with other people and stuff.
That's cool.
But then they have total rights to publicly perform. So, like, what if I write a script? What if I write a script for some elaborate movie, and I write it through Google Document, and I put it in my Google Drive, and Google now has the rights to publicly perform my script. The next thing you know, there's a movie being made, and I'm not getting paid.
Yep.
That's the that's what happens when you work on your talking about advertisements.
Mm.
They're getting B9's getting bombarded with the little ads that pop up during the stream. So she's had 3 so far this episode. They're supposed to only happen once every 30 minutes. So that's weird. Apparently they're up in their game.
Screw them. Screw the man.
So you sent me a few interesting things that I thought we could talk about regarding gaming, and that's like, like the first thing you mentioned was violent video games versus non-violent video games. And, is there any are non-violent video games other than puzzle games, as you mentioned, any fun?
Well, it's not a matter of are they any fun. They can be fun. It's more of a matter of how do we make them fun. It was a topic that it's on my mind fresh because I was at PAX, a couple weeks ago up in Boston. Anyone who does know PAX, it's Penny Arcade Expo. If you don't know PAX, get the hell off the internet. So we went there, and I wasn't too interested in seeing the booths or whatnot. I can read about video games on the internet. I was there for the lectures and whatnot, so me and my buddy were going around, I want to hear what other game devs have to say. I want to hear what publishers have to say. I want to hear what the companies are talking about. And one of them we went to was for this new game coming out. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it was a real-time strategy. And the guy who the lead producer of the game, he's going on about how they hired on this guy who was in the military and whatnot and the other, and, they want to integrate diplomacy and other, basically what in my brain it means non-violent gameplay options. Diplomacy, peace talks, etc. And then they get into talking about the game, and they start asking questions from people, and all they have talked about is all the explosions and bang, bang, boom, boom, and it's an RTS. It's like Command and Conquer.
Yeah, I love Command and Conquer.
There's a lot of guns and a sword in it. It's all space battles. It takes place in space, and it kind of bugged me. I was like, the guy from the military that they had hired on to help him was there, and I wanted to know. And I raised my hand. I was like, so what about those peaceful options? And everyone on the team just shut up. They were like, we're going to turn to the guy here from the military. He likes that. And I was really happy to see he liked that. But you could I kind of got the feeling, I'm not an expert or anything, but I kind of got the feeling that he had bigger dreams of, peaceful style gameplay, which I really also enjoyed the fact that he was from the military and he actually had consideration for non-violent activity in wartime, even though it's a wartime simulation game, but still, I thought that was cool. And you could tell he was really passionate about it, and you could tell most of his ideas have been getting shot down in the team. Yeah. But it made me thinking about, I'm sorry, I'm pontificating here, aren't I? But it made me think about, I like non-violent games. I'm not big on violence in games. When I get those games where you get to be good or evil, I'm always good. I'm like super do-gooder in the game just because I want to. It's like I find pleasure in that.
Yeah.
And, listen to them talk about that made me think, well, I understand why they didn't put all that. They probably ignored half of his ideas. They're not fun. It's fun to run in and, one man, Rambo kill the entire enemy. That's fun. How do we make the non-violent, how do we make, the guy having peace talks, at the UN fun? It's not. No one wants to watch that. So the game we're working on right now, it's one of the considerations me and my buddy are really trying to work on is figuring out how to convince the player, not force them to go peacefully through the game, but to convince them peaceful can be fun.
Yeah, I have to say, and B9 brought up the same principle with movies. Nobody wants to see a movie or a game in which, it's like who can negotiate peace the fastest or something like that.
Yeah.
It's that's an interesting thing. Although I could see how that may be an interesting game to actually play the negotiator for standoffs with criminals and stuff like that, trying to negotiate the release and stuff. But who would play that game where you just get to be the person trying to meet the demands of the criminal and everything? A lot of people would rather be the criminal for some reason. And
it reminds me of old games on the Commodore 64, the text-based games where they were kind of like that, where it was more. They never took off or anything, obviously, but.
B9 mentioned for non-violent movies The Notebook and how well that did. So, so if you could create a video game like The Notebook,
that's kind of like the idea I have. You know, my idea about it isn't like I have an answer to the problem. That's why it interests me so much, and why I want to try to implement it in my game ideas is just to try.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, you know, and in our game, our game that we're working on is mostly about exploration. You know, driving the person to explore. Yes, there's things out there that can harm you, because the game is all about, you know, being lost in the jungle and the sort, and you know, there's things that can harm you, but it's like the exploration part of the game is trying to teach the player you don't necessarily have to kill the tiger.
I think the big things in basically any type of story-driven device, like a movie, game, or anything, that a lot of people want to be. You know, of course, it has to be it has to be interesting. It has to get their attention. It has to change them in some way at the end. You know, their way of thinking or their or feeling or something like that. You know. And I believe that's the biggest thing, you know, when you get to the end of a movie and you have like this different idea or this thought, you know, and the story has changed you in some way. A lot of people walk away from that sort of thing with a really enjoying it, you know, unless it changed you for the worst. In that case, you know, I wouldn't recommend watching that movie.
Yeah.
And as far as video games,
anyone listening, there's a movie out there. It will change your life for the worse. It's called Irreversible. Do not watch it.
You also
I tell that to everyone because they end up watching it, and then they come back, they call me up, or they email me or something. They're like, "Why did you tell me not to watch that?" I'm like, I told you, don't watch it.
Yeah, it's like putting a button in front of somebody and saying not to push it. You know, the people are naturally curious, and you know they say curiosity killed the cat, and a lot of times it holds up true.
Yeah,
we're just it's going to eventually curiosity is going to lead to the destruction of mankind. It's like, I wonder what happens when I put this and this together. Boom! You also mentioned when we were talking about your detailed thing about gaming, about hardcore versus casual gaming and a few other things. And I thought the gender in gaming and AAA versus indie titles of these that I thought was pretty interesting was gender in gaming, because I think that because a lot of games have a lot of bang-bang in them, they're more oriented towards the male audience. I mean, it's not saying that it completely neglects the female audience, but it's just a whole natural way of the way our world works with marketing and everything like that, that the violence is more, it seems to attract men more. They feel like that's their release for all that pent-up stuff. But you don't see too many women playing that type of games. I mean, they exist. There's a lot of them, but in comparison, I'd have to say that the numbers are less.
They are less. It's well, the creators it's a bit of a male-dominated world, and I personally think it's for the worst. You know, obviously, I know tons of girl gamers, and holy crap, I will not game with them. They are mean. They could kick my ass up and down the damn virtual playfield. But you know, when it comes to gender in gaming, for me, it's more about the caricatures in games, like you know, our thing it's along the lines with the non-violent stuff is, I don't know why, you know, again, pontificating what the fuck I'm doing. I just I like seeing, how should I say this? I like seeing real-looking ladies, you know, not Tomb Raider, you know, Laura Croft or something. I like seeing a real-looking heroine in a movie. I mean, not in a movie, in a video game. I also like it in movies as well.
It makes sense.
Hence why Alien's one of my favorite series in the whole world. You know.
I have to say that when it comes to that sort of thing, if you're really interested in being enlightened, there's I think it's on YouTube. You can actually watch it. It's multiple part, but it's called Killing Me Softly. And I think it's the fourth one. She's done more than one. But the lady basically goes through advertisements throughout history and shows how women are objectified and made to think in these certain ways. They're made to think they're weak, and they're made to think that they need to look a certain way and everything like that. And I think that video games kind of translate that same thing by showing them the unrealistic-looking women.
Yeah. It helps out with the guy that I work with a lot. He's the artist.
Yeah.
I'm the liberal little, fag boy here who's like, power ladies! He's just like, I like big butts. And so he draws, he draws very voluptuous-looking ladies, and I love it because it sends the message that I want, and it just sends the message for him. He's like, I like big butts. I'm like, whatever, you're horny. It works for me.
Speaking of that, you ever seen and this is just putting me in a picture of, but I love watching like corny cartoons and stuff like that. But I watched the movie Mars Needs Moms, which ironically, not too much of a kid movie.
Seen that. That's a really old movie. Like,
are you talking? Oh no, I'm talking about the cartoon, not Mom and Dad Save the World. Are you thinking of that?
No. There was a live action movie. I think like in the '70s or maybe the '80s. It was one of those B sci-fi trashy just crap movies. I think it was like maybe it was Mars Needs Women or Mars
Needs Mom was a more recent. It was a cartoon.
Oh, I have not heard of this cartoon.
It wasn't too much of a children's. I mean, it was children, but people die in it, so I have to say that it's not too much for children. But the Martians, as they depict the women in the Martians, they're like gigantic butts and waists, and they're actually gigantic butts and hips. Their waist is literally like the size of a pencil. And then all of a sudden they go back out to this huge like upper torso area, and it almost seems like they're mocking the way that people think that women should look, with this skinny little waist and these huge hips and upper bodies. And it's the way they just completely like elaborated on it to the point of comedic value. I just thought that was interesting when you're talking about your friends and liking big butts and everything like that, and the idea that people have of what women look like. He may like that movie.
Actually, you said in that you also brought up the back at the violence things and like the violence in the cartoon. So maybe it's not for kids. That's another thing that I like to approach in my game ideas is what the hell happened to that. I remember growing up listening to grim fairy tales and children are getting eaten and mauled and killed. There's a wolf chasing down a poor little girl and eating her grandmother, and a huntsman comes and chops her out of the wolf with his axe and whatnot. Crazy violent stories. I mean, now I've noticed they've been tamed down in like the last 10 years. And one of our game ideas actually is a game that approaches that. What is his name? Del Toro. Love his stuff because he goes back to that. Pan's Labyrinth, no, a children's story can have this really out there crazy stuff. Kids can handle it. They understand it's fantasy. And it's like one of the approaches we had this idea for this, it's a little girl who, stereotypical fairy tale idea. She lives with her stepmother. Stepmother's evil and she makes her do chores all day. But at night, she uses her imagination to sneak out of her house. They live off in the middle of the woods, and they sneak out, she sneaks out in the middle of the night and goes in, plays in the woods, and she imagines that all the animals in the store out there, are actual beings, and she starts having relationships with them, and then every night as she goes out there, she gets more and more wrapped up into the forest, and she ends up not being able to leave. And there's this guy, the Toad Prince, and he's this toad, and what he actually is this demon creature that he's trying to get out of the ether and back into the real world, and the only way he can do it is by collecting the souls of small children. So he lures small children into the woods, and your task is you have to find the Toad Prince and somehow defeat him through whatever means, maybe convince him to not be this way or whatever. We'd give several options to it, but and we wanted to emphasize that idea. Children's stories are supposed to be dark. Children, I'm not saying that you're supposed to, I guess mommies and daddies.
Well, just look at the original Mother Goose. If you look at what they were based on, they're based on horrific incidents and events.
Yeah, but I kind of miss that. I kind of miss, when I get older and I have kids, well, I'm already at that age, but whenever I do that, but I'm going to definitely be scaring the crap out of my children every night. I'm like, I'm going to fill you full of filth and nonsense. But whatever. That's me. That's my opinion.
I remember being a kid and the movies and stuff that I grew up with, and the Child's Play, for instance, made me get rid of
Oh,
every.
that movie scared the crap out of me as a little kid. Oh my god.
I got rid of
bloody
so many
balls to
toys.
this day still scare me.
Oh yeah. Oh whoa. 7:50. So we actually got 10 minutes left, so we'll wrap it up, I guess. This went by pretty quick. You were a great guest, very expressive, and had a lot of interesting insights on game development, stuff like that. And I definitely would like to have you back on the show another time when cycle through some people. We have like a schedule now that we're putting up that me and number two worked with, that we're actually putting up names and everything of people we want to contact and people that we've already contacted. It's different things we'd want to talk to them about. And so you were the first one on that list, and he chose you. I haven't really talked to you ever.
I still want to know how I ended up on this list. Like, seriously, who in their right mind said, yeah, that asshole over there, we want to talk to him?
Number two, Pencil. I think it was because of your interaction in the lounge. He probably thought you'd be a very interesting guest to have, and you were.
Oh, thank you. I had a fun time joining in.
I wish that we had more time to actually go over some of the stuff, because game development's got so many aspects to it that you can cover and we didn't even get a chance to. I mean, I feel like we should have started a little sooner, but we had this other topics I could have completely taken out that took us like a less than a minute to cover. But live and learn. This is like the episode 6 now, and we're working on a better format. Me and number two actually, like, believe it or not, when the show's not going on, we're still talking about the show in different ways we can make it better and change things.
Cool.
So
I'm looking forward to it. I'm having a fun time with this. I checked out all your backlogs and everything. They were good.
There's an episode 5. It hasn't been processed yet. I put it up a little late because...
Whose beard does B9 want?
B9?
She keeps screaming about beard this entire episode. She wants more beard. Did you do something to your beard?
It's my
I know
beard.
I shaved my beard off, but I don't know how the hell she would know that.
It's because I shaved my beard. I wish that I could just like force a huge puff of hair in my face, but I can't. I'm not magical or anything like that. I wish I was, but
you don't have magical powers. What the hell?
My facial hair, unlike my head, actually grows back pretty quick. So by sometime next month, I'll have that nice bushy beard again. So I could say, you know, like, it's like, what has he got? Like on Hot Fuzz on every time. What's he got that I don't? It's like a great big bushy beard. That was one of my favorite lines of that movie. But thanks again for coming. I'm going to close out of this and close up the show. I have to keep it under 60 minutes as much as I can so that we cut the least amount out, because the longer we go over 60 minutes, the more stuff we have to cut to get it in that time frame for YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Well, I had a fun time.
And we'll have you back again, I'm sure. It was very interesting. See ya.
Totally.
So, yeah, that's pretty much the show. What can I do with Beard? And the cat is literally passed out. Yeah, the cat is literally passed out over there. And she's having dreams. Like, she's twitching and going, Okay. Yep, no cat butt, no beard. This episode is a complete disappointment. But Lord of Duct had a lot of interesting things to say, and a lot of interesting stuff was talked about in regards to game development and the aspects of violence and how we actually tend to like violence in video games. I think more people should play violent video games because it's an outlet. I forget which philosopher said it, but you need that outlet. I think that you need that way. People need a release. If you pent up that stuff and don't actually let it out, you're going to turn into a violent person. And that anger is going to get released one way or another, but it may end up being released in an area or a way that you regret. So yeah, just play violent video games, and we'll make sure that stuff doesn't happen. So that's this episode, and it was fun coming back because last weekend I didn't have an episode. I felt bad, but it's inevitable. Sometimes I'm not going to be able to make an episode because I got other things I got to do. And I try to organize my schedule as best as I can so I can still have that thing. Tonight I was supposed to go to Veterans Dinner, but I didn't end up going because it would have cut my time really close to the edge. And I may not have made the show on time, so I decided that, you know, pizza isn't worth it. So thanks, I apologize for the beard, but, you know, it'll grow back. And hopefully I'll grow it really big like Santa Claus, you know, it'll just be like ZZ Top style. And then I'll take that picture, and if I ever shave my beard again, I won't use the camera. I'll just put that still picture, and you can stare at that while I talk, and I'll do the little, like, the mouth thing to where I can talk through the mouth of the beard. Or I could just cut off from the nose up and just show the beard zoomed in, like, right here, and I'll talk through the beard. How about that? All right. It's great to be back. If you're interested, though, for those people just watching the stream, we'll have the YouTube available probably sometime over the weekend as it gets attended to, cut, edited, and uploaded to YouTube in proper format and everything. But we do have the IRC chat, and a lot of us tend to talk afterwards about different things about the show and you know, different topics we went over more in depth, or we just hang out and bullshit. We also sometimes get on Skype and do a big group chat or Google Hangout. So I encourage you, if you don't go to the chat, you really need to go to the chat because you're missing out on the whole second part of the show. But I'll see you guys later, and yeah, have fun.